take your hand and we'll rise up from the dust. Oh, here we go, 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 let us heal and grow. You won't be alone, we're unstoppable. Don't be afraid to show what we're going for. This is what we know. Here we come back to life, we're still breathing. Standing up, everybody's gonna see it. Oh, all you need to know is that we're holding on. Even if we fall, we will rise up and we follow the path that we believe in. No, we're not gonna stop until we reach it. Oh, all you need to know is that we're holding on. We rise up from the dust and claim our throne. We all have our reasons why we are on this track. Oh, we all have our burdens, yeah, but we just keep on fighting and we never look back. Here we go, 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 let us heal and grow. You won't be alone, we're unstoppable. Don't be afraid to show what we're going for. This is what we know. Here we come back to life, we're still breathing. Standing up, everybody's gonna see it. All you need to know is that we're holding on. Even if we fall, we will rise up and we follow the path that we believe in. No, we're not gonna stop until we reach it. All you need to know is that we're holding on. We rise up from the dust and claim our throne. We rise up from the dust and claim our throne.
you two are getting rough. My mind just sounds like Shia LaBeouf. It says no, 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 no. Just no, 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 no. And every time I see him with you, my heart sounds like Shia LaBeouf too. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Shia LaBeouf, it says no, 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 no. Just no, 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 no. And every time I see him with you, my heart sounds like Shia LaBeouf too. No, 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 no. No, 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 no.
Welcome to the Masters of Parkour Finals 2020.
and welcome to Masters of Parkour 2020. This is the third finals that we'll be streaming live, and it is the 8th edition of Masters of Parkour overall. We've been going for about 7 years. My name is Ben, and I will be commentating with my good friend Skelet and, of course, community manager Cedric DeBono. Hey guys, how are we feeling?
Hey, yeah, I've been really looking forward to this event. It's no secret that Masters of Parkour is my all-time favorite event of the year. It's just like I love parkour and just think it's crazy. I'm really looking forward to a good show. Let's see what these people can come up with.
Yeah, hey everyone, I'm Skelet. I'm really excited to see what we have this time. It's been a while, a year after all, and we have the first team in the match already. We see it, you will be seeing it shortly as well. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the different approaches they have to what they have to achieve.
Me too. I remember last year we had a fantastic and very creative set of display of parkour, and I hope that this year is even better, and I can't wait to see it.
Absolutely, yeah. And with the since we're keeping the strategy system in place with the different difficulties, right?
We are, and actually we're about to go into explaining how the finals is going to work.
It's
slightly different than last year. So let's take a look. We have 7 finalist teams this year, and as each team. As the first round for each team happens, we will do a short introduction for each of those teams. You'll get to know the players, you'll get to know their history a little bit, and you'll also get to see their entry videos, which I must say were fantastic this year. And then we'll have 4 stages. So we'll have a quarterfinal, semifinal, bronze final, and a grand final. Of course, we'll narrow the field each time, and in the finals, of course, we'll have a head-to-head competition to see which team is the best parkour team in Tanki this year.
Indeed, some of them even not being newcomers, but actually being people coming back from last year. So this will for sure be more exciting than last time. They had a lot of time to train and get better at all the tricks they did last time. So perhaps even less failed attempts in between.
I guess we'll even see some different strategies, because if you remember correctly, last year we had some teams that tried to go for the simpler option, for a lower multiplier, in the hope that they would finish the trick faster and get more points, and it backfired. I don't remember who it was. I think it was GTT. I'm curious to see this time how the teams will leverage that multiplier, that score multiplier, and strategize accordingly.
Also, one big change compared to last year is that this time they're allowed to use overdrive. So that's a big new opportunity to utilize all the options you have within the game to get to their goal quicker.
Yeah,
absolutely. There's a lot of potential this year. I think additionally we're also going to see a lot more use of alterations because of I think many new ones have come out recently. So I'm excited to see how all of those factors play a role in the tricks we see today. That being said, the tricks that we will see today will be judged by a panel of judges. Their job is to judge based on the creativity and the difficulty of the tricks, and in addition, 20% of the points will count for the time and the number of attempts that teams use. That way, 80% of the judging score will be based on creativity and difficulty, and then there'll be the other 20% will be for the time and the number of attempts. In addition, there will be a multiplier, as Cedric referred to, which will increase the points depending on the difficulty of the building that they attempt to land on.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of strategic thinking that goes into this.
As we have 4 different maps going through the entire 4 stages, the first 3, and with every different map, there's 3 different objectives having a multiplier of, well, 1, so nothing, 1.25 and 1.5. So they can have a big difference just depending on their objectives that they choose, but also if they have a more difficult objective, they obviously might need more attempts or maybe even harder strategies to even accomplish it.
Exactly. There's a lot to think about when you're choosing which buildings to do, what types of tricks to do, and I'm really excited to see what our teams have in store for us this year.
Yeah, I think this is my favorite mechanic of the tournament. To be honest, I don't think the Russian version has that, and I remember I think Skeletor came up with the idea, or whatever. Last year's team came up with the idea, and it's like it really added an edge to the tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. So each stage, of course, will have a different map with different difficulties, as Skelet mentioned, and in each trick, teams will have up to 5 minutes to complete the task. Of course, they aren't allowed to set up anything before the trick begins, or before the timer begins, rather. So they will have exactly 5 minutes.
Yeah, otherwise the timer would be kind of ridiculous to even have.
Exactly. And in addition, as we mentioned before, there will be a single elimination system. So the teams with the highest amount of points will proceed. And of course, that will go until the grand finals, where one team will be crowned the real Masters of Parkour 2020.
Yeah, and finally, in between rounds, we will do a few giveaways, which is also going to be huge for you guys this time, because there is big prizes on the line. There will be 3 different
some of those
giveaways.
prizes?
Well, first off, crystals, obviously. But secondly, in the last of the first 3 giveaways, you will be able to win gold box supplies. And the biggest of them all, there will be 2 XT containers that will be given away to people who have been entering correct answers within the first 3 giveaways. But also, because we're generous, as you know, 3 more will be pulled from the winners from the first 3 giveaways, and those 3 can win 50,000 crystals. Nothing
Wow.
to share. 50,000 each.
Can I enter those giveaways? Am I allowed to win those?
I don't think so, because you might know the answers, don't you?
Well, maybe. But still, it's 50,000 crystals. That's a lot of crystals. Can I get some of those? Torben.
Ah, that's a big no there, unfortunately.
Oh, that's
Okay.
too bad.
Well, that's that for now. Let's see where we're at.
I do believe we're almost ready to start with the first team, which will be actually, I don't know if it's been announced yet. Am I allowed to reveal which team? Okay, so the first team will be the Flying Parkourists 2, the second team of the Flying Parkourists, TFP 2. The members of this team are Do or Die, Geo the Killer, Zone, and Shiradon. Shiradon, I apologize if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly.
No, don't apologize. I think they do this on purpose, just like to screw with us.
They use their prize pools every time to change. Okay, we will be seeing a reveal trailer for the first map which we'll be playing on which the teams then shall choose their objective. So let's have a roll on that.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think about this map and what do you think they will choose?
Well, All three of these buildings are relatively difficult, but it seems to me that going big at early might be worthwhile. So I would predict that they go for the biggest multiplier, 1.5, but we'll see, I guess.
Indeed. It's a big choice right there, but there's a reason why it's the second team of those big team TFP.
I mean, personally, if I were part of the team, I'd go for the middle tier, the middle difficulty, because playing first is a disadvantage because you don't know what the subsequent teams are gonna do.
But if you go big and succeed, you know that you have the mental advantage, not just for the first round, for the following as well.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
it could pan either way, you know. If they
That's
don't
true.
manage to get it, like last year, I think the first team went for the biggest multiplier last year, and they either failed it, if I'm not mistaken, or no, they did succeed, but they had a terrible time. It was like it really took them a lot of time, and it played on the subsequent teams, giving them an advantage. So it's like,
Well, we can see them in front of the big tower now this time. It's the biggest of them all, actually. Well, not the biggest tower, but for sure the biggest of all the challenges. So this will be 1.5 time multiplier, but also a big challenge to accomplish. And as of now, they're allowed to start and move. They didn't really set up, but you can see they already had the towers, or rather the turrets, in position, for example, having it aimed up completely.
And
they're
here we
pretty-
see an alteration on that Wasp. Is that a Wasp M1, I believe?
I think it is, yeah.
looks like it, yeah.
I think it Ricochet M3 though, or M7.
It looks like it. Interesting. So the Magnum shoot looks like he got on first time. Look at that.
Oh,
Wow.
nice.
One attempt and not even a lot of time needed. That was pretty quick and pretty impressive.
Very nice. And it looks like Do or Die didn't even play a part in the trick. Perhaps he was there to help them in secondary attempts if they needed, but they didn't.
I suppose they were
That's-
looking at whether they could really get it done with this, or whether they had to use a different attempt there. Because
we've seen in past editions that having a second jumper in case things go wrong for a quick reset really helps out, and it's one of the things that really gave an advantage to the teams that performed well last year. So I am guessing that there was a second jumper there just standing by.
You're right, and not only is he a second jumper, but you can also see that he has a slightly different setup. He uses Hornet instead of Wasp, so they're probably prepared for the Wasp taking too much damage and maybe needing a Hornet with a little more life instead.
Could be.
As we
But
saw,
anyway,
it went perfectly.
Very neat, very clean trick, very quick setup. TFP are famous for this. They're famous for really planning their jumps nicely. I'm guessing they wanted to do something a little bit safer here, because it was quite a safe jump. Let's put it this way. It looks like something that they've been practicing for a long time. So
I do agree. I don't think it will be the most spectacular jump we'll see all day, but it was definitely a solid starting point.
I think their intent here was to intimidate subsequent teams. Like, look, we got on the biggest multiplier. We got there on the first shot with a very little time, with a clean jump, with fast reset. Like, you're not going to be able to keep up with us. That's the message they're trying to give here.
And speaking of subsequent teams, I'm excited to see what our next team, Fly Too High, Team 2, is going to do. But
well, we also have a score now from our nice judges, giving us an entire score of 90. That's pretty high.
I do believe they have set the bar pretty high.
Well, that's the
They
whole
had
point.
perfect timing, wonderful execution, and one attempt needed. So I would say fair enough.
Yeah, and now let's move on to Fly Too High 2. I believe we'll be seeing our their
Introduction
submission
and
video right
exactly.
now.
What do you guys think they will be choosing?
You know, based on last year, I would say that most teams are probably going to go for the biggest multiplier, especially with all of their experience. Most of these teams are long-time parkourists, and I would be surprised if they don't have enough confidence in themselves to do creative tricks onto the most difficult houses that we've chosen.
And again, last year showed us that going for the lowest multiplier just does not pay off.
Well then,
This team's made up of players Tanki, So Easy, Shh, and Think, and I believe they will be starting momentarily.
So what do we have? We have 2 Vikings and a Wasp and yeah, no, sorry, 3 not Vikings, sorry. Yeah.
3 Dictators.
3
and
Dictators.
perhaps another Wasp M1, which is very advantageous in terms of jumping ability. Although maybe Wasp M2, I've always struggled to tell the difference.
what do you guys think they will do this time? Because not only is this a pretty good team, but also at least 2 in this team are people who came back, who won MOP 2019. Only Shh and So Easy are new this year.
Well, based on the fact that they have a bunch of Dictators, I would be very surprised if at least 1 or 2 of them aren't used as a ramp. Perhaps, and of course, I would expect Tanky 781 to be the jumper. I would be very surprised if they managed to get a Dictator on top of the first house, although that would be very creative and very difficult.
We've seen these things happen in previous editions. We've
Getting a
seen
Dictator
hulls. We've
Imagine.
seen hulls that you wouldn't expect to be jumpers that actually made the jump. We've seen it last year.
I would say
don't
that will
remember
get
exactly.
bonus points from the judges for sure.
Oh,
Exactly.
absolutely.
But we can see
Exactly.
Wasp Ricochet just like last time.
And they are
now,
off.
There we go. However, we see 2 different turrets this time, or rather 1 different turret twice, or even, yeah, twice. We see Dictator with, I think it's Hammer? No.
Okay, we're seeing the ramp here as expected. It looks like there's going to be a ramp. What
It
are they?
looks like you're right.
Oh!
And he's staying there.
That must have taken a lot of practice.
Absolutely.
What are they up to?
So it looks like Tanky will be.
Ouch! Okay,
He
that
fell down. So that's
took them too
a
long to
problem
set up.
with this setup of the trick. It may be difficult for them to do it multiple times.
Yeah. Okay, they seem to be starting to panic now.
I
Oh,
would
they
say
have plenty of time.
They are very precise, as you can see. Small movements.
Mm.
Very.
I'm excited to see how this works.
Having
And
a
it looks like-
I think I know what they're up to.
They're apparently going for a shot from below with big power, and then
Oh!
that's
Interesting. So it
attempt
looks
there.
like the goal is for the jumper to bounce off of Think, who's the Dictator balancing there.
And
Which-
then Think helps with with Hammer.
Exactly. Which may be a little bit problematic. 5 minutes may seem like a long time. They may only be able to get 5 or 6 attempts in, just because they'll have to
The reset takes a
to
long
reset
time.
every time. Exactly, because Think is going to fall down every time that Tanky 781 bounces off of him.
Having him balanced like that actually takes quite some time to just get back.
Come on, come on, come on!
He's not
Oh.
up, barely. That's quite a lot of points given away there. And those are not the judges' points; they are just from the multiplier ones. So that hurts.
It
Yeah.
will be difficult for them to achieve a 90 as the first team was able to do. But I'm sure they can still manage to get in the top 6.
We'll see. We have a few more teams to come after all. And it's not every time that you have a first try working.
It's
It's a
true.
very creative way.
I'm
for
not
sure.
seeing this working, guys. Not seeing this working. There's just too many variables there.
It doesn't seem like there's enough power to even push him up.
Yeah,
Perhaps
that's one.
Barely once.
That's one thing. Plus, if think is even just a fraction, like off the proper mark, the trajectory just isn't going to work. If he's too forward or too back, then Tanki 781 is just gonna fall short or fly over.
Well, luckily they still have a couple minutes to try some more attempts. So perhaps we'll see it working one time.
Well, this one for sure not.
Yeah.
Not only do they have to reset the dictator, they also have to either reset or kill him. Oh, that's a big time.
30 seconds left.
1.5 minutes left.
1.5.
90 seconds left, and they
Oh,
flip
man.
it. Oh, this is not good for the time.
And even worse, they're on the blue side. So
He spawns
Tanki
only
781
one
has
corner
to
away.
spawn. Yep, he got a little lucky with that spawn.
Indeed, they at least have time to set up the dictator. So actually, it's at least good timing there, but still a lot of time lost. Should have
With
brought
about
the
a minute left
instantly.
With about a minute left, they should have time for maybe 2 more attempts.
Yeah, except the dictator doesn't want to stand.
He has to reload that time again. It's getting close.
I do
Come on,
like
guys.
this trick.
It is.
It is very creative, but unfortunately, it does not succeed. At least hasn't so far.
The coolest part, in my opinion, is that Tanki 781 is landing upside down on top of Think, and so they're shooting each other as the hammer shot from Think.
I think they're gonna make it. They're gonna make it this time.
I think this is their last attempt.
They're all ready, and here we go.
Come on, guys! Oh,
so close.
That's unfortunate. The time will not be enough to set it up once more.
I don't think so.
Or how much time do we have left? Time's up. Nope. Not this time.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
What do you think about the points?
It'll be curious to see how the judges determine how many points that it was worth. Because while it was an interesting setup and a creative setup for the trick, they didn't succeed. So perhaps we'll see some sort of score for creativity.
I would say for sure
knows?
creativity will be big. Like, it's a big factor right here. You see hammers shooting each other, having to have such perfect timing. At least he got up once, right? He fell down because he was too close to the corner.
Even the balancing act in itself was a huge risk. These guys took a huge risk here. But unfortunately, it didn't pay off. But if it had paid off, I think we'd have seen a very strong, a very good mark here. So who's next?
We have a total of 82 points from the judges. That's pretty close. Considering
I think it's a respectable score. I think it's a respectable score. Well deserved for the creativity. Then again, they did not complete the trick. So
exactly, because we also have some points coming from the map and so on. And here, well, for the attempts, they still get, I think it's like 8 points maybe. But for the time, they get none. Meanwhile, the first team, they had, I think, like almost full points because they didn't need time at all, or almost at least.
Honestly, I'm surprised that they got that high of a score, seeing as they didn't succeed. And at the end of the day, that is the goal. But I'm not going to question the judges.
No, not at all. I'd be the last one to do that.
I'd say it's fair because the judges are mainly here for the less numeric things, like succeeding or not. You can put that in numbers. We don't need judges for it. But
That's
fair.
creativity, that's what they're here for.
Plus, the judges themselves are fairly respectable parkourists themselves. They know what goes into a trick. They know the kind of work, the kind of preparation that goes into it. So they're in a very good position to judge the work being done here. Maybe even details that I myself would miss.
Well, and as you just saw on the scoreboard, we have more teams to come. Ben, would you like to announce the next one?
Yes, the next team up is Legacy Parkourists, and we will view their entry momentarily. This team consists of iMoneymaker, Mr. Nibbles, Croaky, and Cube, many of whom have been long-time parkourists. I believe their club has actually been alive for almost 3 years, and some of these players I know for a fact were former members of Fight and Flight, which was around for even longer. Back in my days, wow, it's been a long time.
But we can see where they stand. You shall shortly as well. We can for sure see that they only have one jumper. What do you think? Will it work out the same way like the other team? Might it take time penalties once more, or maybe they do it first time like the first team?
I can't wait to find out.
And there we go. Let's go to it.
So
Interesting
Railgun.
here.
Yeah. Go ahead.
They don't have any dictators. They don't have any large halls.
Not only that, but every weapon is different.
Mm-hmm.
We have one ricochet, which does not seem to be the jumper. We have one railgun, that's a first, probably sniping from behind. And a hammer.
That's an interesting trick. I wonder if Cube has lagged out. It looks like he has. But perhaps they'll manage to do the trick without him.
I think Cube is just bored. He doesn't seem to have a job.
Whoa!
And wow.
Oh,
Two
nice.
times.
Oh, maybe
not
Cube
much
just
time.
no. Apparently, Cube was there just for the show.
Yep, he was just having fun spinning around. There we see his mind's going down, having fun like a
Very
celebrating
nice.
for sure with a good right.
I do like the simplicity of this trick. It was, and by simplicity I mean they only needed three hulls. They used one member to create a ramp. They used the ricochet to shoot into the other hornet to create a ramp, and then it was a simple ramp trick with iMoneymaker getting up, running up and timing it correctly with his thunder shot and the hammer's thunder shot, or the hammer's shot, and yeah, pretty straightforward.
Indeed. But they will for sure get the time and attempt bonus
Absolutely.
in big numbers.
Let's see whether they've impressed the judges though.
Their final score
95.5.
Wow.
Not
Very
just whole
nice.
points, 0.5.
So launching them into first place.
Well done.
Very
Let's have a
nice.
look at some numbers. Well, they needed 2 attempts, but actually 7 seconds less than the first team. That's how quick they were.
Wow.
Okay, that's interesting.
It was
So
a
with
very
two
simple
attempts-
setup.
So with 2 attempts, they were still faster than TFP2.
Indeed.
I do believe that's because their setup was a lot simpler than TFP2's.
True. But I would say it's very interesting that they're so far the only team that did not utilize Dictator as a ramp, but rather just the Hornet, as we used to see it in the old days when Moon Silence came out and everyone wanted to jump exactly this building as well.
How many of our viewers remember that?
I do. I remember Moon Silence. Actually, Moon Silence was discontinued
Indeed.
about a week or 2 after I came on to work with Tanki online, not as a community manager, but as a proofreader. So as a freelancer at the time. This was
Cedric, it's your
Yeah.
fault that Moon Silence was discontinued?
no, it wasn't. No.
Well, if it was, I would thank you for the great paint which I had thanks to it. Still in my garage.
Yeah.
So, Ben, who is it going to be next?
Up next is the Team 1 of Fly Too High. And the members of this team are Dynasty, Offing, Heroic, and False. Nice, easy to pronounce names.
Yeah, don't get used to that.
No mismatches, no players complaining about our pronunciations, because yes, we see that in chat.
What
And
do we have?
I must say, their entry video was one of my favorites from this year. I really hope they can, and I do believe we're seeing it on screen now.
Indeed. I'm seeing a playback, but damn, that looks neat.
It does.
I'm really hoping to see such movements and such attempts right now as well, even though, well, so far the setup does not look the same.
Well, we'll see momentarily what hulls and turrets they're using. But it seems relatively similar to
what we've seen so far. I wonder
Yes.
whether they're going for the same as the second team of their part.
Not exactly. I mean, there's a Viking there. And
A
two
hunter, I
dictators.
believe.
Sorry, a hunter. I keep mixing it.
And here we go. Let's see what they do. We see two players being in the red team and 2 in the blue team. So they at least don't have a single one being there to set up, because last time they only had the one player even being able to set up mines.
So Offing is going upside down. I assume he's going to be the jumper.
Well, this is a first.
Yeah, this is
I
interesting.
thought that was a mistake being on top. But let's see how this is.
Sweet!
First time.
Wow.
And that was not a simple setup. That was by
this
far not a
might
simple
even
setup.
take the first place, and thereby almost kicking their other team out. Well, one more team, and it might be their end already.
It felt so effortless, and yet you could see all of the work that went into it.
This is what pure skill looks like.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I must say, it's very difficult to time this correctly. You need Offing to be facing the correct way. The hammers need to shoot almost in synchronity, but one right after the other, so that he doesn't get pushed the wrong way. And
Plus,
it was
it
just
was very
flawless
nearly
execution.
off.
And also, if you look closely, Offing was adjusting mid-flight how
Exactly.
he was falling. Like, that was perfection right there. He knew what to do. He didn't panic. He knew this was going to happen, and he was prepared.
Just cold-blooded performance. Amazing.
And I will be surprised if this doesn't launch them into first place.
Well, what do you think? Oh, wow. First to go through 3 digits. 106 points.
Very well deserved, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Nicely done by Fly to High Team 1. Up next, we will see the Flying Parkourist Team 1, which is made up of Intellect, Espoir, Jumper, and Mohammed, who I believe is a former YouTuber, perhaps still a YouTuber. And I'm excited to see what they pull off, because we saw the Flying Parkourists second team, the team that went first, or the team that went first. They had an interesting trick, so I wonder what these guys will pull off.
And if that was only their second team doing this in perfection, first try, then what will this team be looking like? Well,
only one way to find out.
Indeed.
Let's see it.
I would say for sure, obviously, they will have to go for the big tower this time. Once again, as they all did so far. So, what do you think will happen this time? Will we see another first try, direct, 10 out of 10 done? Or will they maybe be the worst team of the two?
I seriously doubt it. I mean, these are all very experienced parkourists. So I doubt they'll be the worst of the lot.
Well,
And
Team
interesting
P
here
after
is
all.
4 wasps.
Mm.
4 wasps, yeah.
Not even a
And-
single hornet like we saw in between the other teams.
And there's a railgun, and
I really want that thunder being
And they're
used.
off. I do believe that Thunder's going to be the jumper.
They are all driving away. Oh,
Now,
I'd
I'd
say
say-
the ramp.
I think that there are going to be 2 jumpers. They're going to try to have 2 jumpers.
I think it's only going to be the thunder. The railgun will probably just push from behind.
I think you're right.
However,
I will be-
Wait, no, don't tell me. Jumper is the jumper.
Of course.
That
That's
was planned. And there
Don't
he goes.
overshoot! Don't overshoot!
Oh no!
He made it high. Too high indeed. Up on top of the guard on the side, but not the building itself. He for sure jumped high though, right? The name is clear and right.
Mhm.
I do like the setup of this trick.
Yeah, and you'll notice that jumper's on the red team. So they planned even the respawn point.
Indeed. And you can see they're almost ready for the next run. They need to set up both hammers standing upright. It seems like...
yeah. Go on.
Wait, if you have a close look, Espoir was actually waiting for Mohammed, as if this is planned even on the order who stands where.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, these are, as I said, these are very experienced parkourists. They don't leave anything to chance.
They might even have some alterations in, or higher upgraded hammer in the back for a big lift right there. Well, it's the first.
He's made it.
And he's up.
Yeah, nice landing. Very clean landing.
What do you
My
think
favorite
we'll
part of
get
this
from
trick-
the judges there?
My favorite part of this trick by far is that is the use of intellect, the railgun, shooting jumper just as he's about to run over the hammers and aiming down so that his back end pops up, enabling him to drive over the top of the 2 hammers.
Not
A
just
really nice
drive,
touch.
but also enabling him, on the other hand, to shoot and push himself away, because that way he hits the ramp below himself. This was a
Exactly.
great trick. What do you think the judges will think of it?
Well, I think they'll take into account the fact that of all the tricks, the jumper in this trick flew the furthest, and I know one of the key words in some of the judges' minds is spectacular, right? The more spectacular a trick is, the more entertaining it is to watch.
And it's only fair. I mean, it's only fair to consider the distance that the jumper travels, because so many things could go wrong. Like as we saw in the first attempt, he overshot the target. So,
well, guys, we've seen it all. We've seen it. Perfect attempt, 1 try on top. We've seen few attempts. Oh, wow, Ben. Would you like to announce? I think you're the one.
They got 109 points, which puts them back on top into first place. Wow.
And that's also a goodbye for Fly Too High for this round already.
Up next is Team Toaster. The members are, which of course I can't help but laugh at that name. The team members are Held, Ray, or Ree, I'm not sure, Streese, and XXX Samarm. Samarm?
Samarm.
Samarm? I'm not really sure. We'll refer to him as Sam.
Sam.
You know what?
Yeah.
I want the name to be real. I want an explosive jump. Fling him up like the toast out of the toaster. Please.
Well, we do have a Magnum here, and that could mean many things. We
Well,
got
TFP2 for sure used the Magnum twice in that kind of a fashion, right? They flung him up.
They certainly did.
The intro trailer, look at this. They know how to make a big entry.
Do you guys remember when Magnum first came out? And we got a collaboration between TFP and Fight and Flight. I think.
How could I ever forget, Cedric? You bring it up every time I see you.
No, because that was one of my all-time favorite parkour videos. You know, I really enjoyed that. It was a fantastic collaboration, and so yeah, I've got very fond memories of the video. So much work went into it, and I think it entertained a ton of people. So yeah, every time I see a Magnum, I remember.
You know what? We have one more team after this, right?
I believe so.
Now this team may start. But what I want to see from the next team, please.
What happened there?
They killed their teammate on big bad timing. Oh.
What? What's the point of that?
I think they were fooling around, didn't really be prepared, wasn't really prepared for the timer. Or is he not even part of it? They're just showing off that they're able to use their overdrive, just putting out the shield.
I actually believe that that self-destruction was on purpose. Because if you look, the railgun shot, well, perhaps not, but the railgun shot from way behind. So perhaps it was planned and he was supposed to shoot from as far behind as he did.
Well, unfortunately, he missed this shot. And actually, the shield would have been useful in that case because it would reduce the damage, utilizing it to its perfection.
And here goes attempt number 2. Oh,
now hitting the railgun. Oh, he stopped himself actually mid-flight. Oh.
And speaking of spectacular, this one is perhaps even a bigger jump than the last one we saw.
I wonder whether they will overshoot once as well. Well, they do have a lot of force and also a lot of damage apparently in it. He didn't have protection on apparently.
It's not looking good for them.
This will hurt the timer. The dictator coming from the other end, even with speed, this will take a while.
Yeah, plus the moment the timer starts, squeezing, it's
a stressful situation.
Yeah, you start getting stressed out, and this is one of the reasons why you guys decided to not put so much emphasis on the time of the trick. I remember this was a huge discussion we had.
Indeed. Did you see there was one of them left? Oh.
One of them left?
Yeah, he left before the jump.
Yeah, it looks like they're having some technical difficulties, I hope.
No, actually he switched from Dictator to Titan. Okay. Let's see how this will affect it. Also bringing in the Magnum again. Wow. Let's see, are they all set to go? One more try, and here we go, up.
Still not enough.
It's too high, so it didn't travel far enough.
I wonder how many times they practiced this beforehand.
They have 2 minutes left, so it's at least enough for 1 or 2 more tries, but with bad spawns, that might even just be 1.
It's not looking good for them, which is a pity because it's a nice trick.
It is.
Well, for sure an interesting setup, but lucky for them that the judges don't look at time. Hopefully.
Oh,
So close.
that was so cruel. That was such a cruel twist of fate.
He needs to improve on his timing with the shot. Just like we saw with the one ricochet, remember?
Yeah.
Mid-flight
Yeah, I think you're right.
adjustment. It's a key factor right now, because I think he actually could have made it a few tries right now. He only stopped himself, actually.
So how much time did the teams get to practice on the maps?
I think
They had
think
about
they've had about
6
a week.
days, I think, right?
6 days. That's not a lot.
Oh,
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 no,
so
and
he's
it
gonna make
was
it.
the try. Oh, that hurts.
Yeah.
20 seconds. They can do it one more time.
Come
They're
on,
quick on it.
guys. Come on, come on.
Bringing out the shield. Everything is set up.
Nope,
Please,
shot
guys,
too
let me
early
they
know.
rushed
now.
it. They rushed
Yeah,
it.
the panic sets in.
Hurts to see.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
see-
they had one more attempt. I think they should have just
Well, I
taken
see
their
20
time.
seconds being announced in the chat, so they might have enough. Nope. Time's up.
And time is up.
That is a real pity.
They
That's
had-
unfortunate.
You know what's the sad part? Even though they had a very spectacular trick, them being
that's
so
a-
quick about it
oh.
actually costs them more time than the other team that needed a few attempts more and didn't make it as well. Right?
Yeah.
Because the more attempts you use, the less points you get for that. Doesn't matter whether you make it within any of them. So let's see what the judges think about their creative attempt right here.
Team Toaster did not have enough strength in their toaster to throw that thunder onto the.
Well, they might have had too much energy. They burned the toast once at least, right?
And a final score of just 43 points.
Ouch. That hurts. Well, we already know the current set, which is at the top, right?
Yeah.
One already being called for actually doing pretty fine with 82 points, fly too high, still being kicked out through the very well performing teams like the Flying Parkourists, Fly Too High 1, and the Flying Parkourists 2. And not to forget Legacy Parkourist, the only one so far with not just whole digits, but 0.5.
And with the Flying Parkourists Team 2 in 4th place, currently with 90 points, that means that in order to advance to the semifinals, FNF will need to score at least 90 points in order to advance.
Do we know what happens if two teams accomplish 90 as a score?
I'm not really sure. That's an interesting question.
Well,
I don't know,
let's
maybe-
hope our judges do some sleight of hand. So let's see who's next up.
Well, right now we're watching on screen Fight and Flight's video entry. And this is, of course, the final team in the quarterfinal round. After this team goes, of course, we'll have our first of 4 huge giveaways on stream.
Ooh,
and
giveaways. Nice.
this team consists of Alfie, Emrakul, Sari, and Mission. FNF has been around for a very long time. I remember, as you mentioned, Cedric, FNF and TFP back a few years ago. We did a collaboration with when Magnum just became a part of the game, and although it looks like we don't see any Magnums on this team, unfortunately.
Oh, so far we see one new turret. So, very looking forward to see how this will work out. Within the entry video, we saw a striker as well as a firebird on the jumper. I wonder whether that we see such big commitments in the later rounds, such as the semi or maybe even the final.
An interesting choice here. They're the only team that hasn't the highest difficulty house, so hopefully they make up with lots of either difficulty or creativity to get above that 90-point threshold.
And here we go. Let's see what they got for us. Well, first off, they will probably get a pretty good score regarding creativity. They're the only team so far using Smoky. Also having 3 Hornets and 1 Wasp. I think we've seen that before.
Happened there?
Some mistimings, I think.
Some gross mistimings.
I wonder what Mission is doing. Perhaps it would be more useful if he were a second jumper.
I think they have him in mind for the big push, utilizing Hammer's big potential in force. Actually,
I don't think he's even shooting.
never mind. You're right.
Hammer wouldn't reach that far.
And especially because he's on the same team as Alfie.
Oh, you're
Exactly,
right. Well,
yeah.
you could still hit him if you're pretty precise about it, but what is this?
So Sari clearly is trying to turn into a ramp, being shot by the railgun Emrakul.
He could also force or put some force with a Smoky with a quick shot from beneath as well, though.
But I would imagine that Hammer or Twins or even Ricochet would be better suited for Sari to use than Smoky.
Or perhaps even Thunder having the big explosion from beneath.
Ooh, that was pretty close. I think that was the closest
Yeah.
we've seen so far.
If he had been a little bit further, he only would have hit the house, unfortunately, though. He needed to be a little bit higher as well.
And look at that.
Mission is gonna make the jump now.
Maybe they're listening to the stream because they've taken my advice. They've gotten 2 jumpers now.
But Mission just
Impossible.
succeeded as much as his teammates so far.
High quality humor, Cedric. Oh, this one has promise. Ooh, not enough.
Once again, falling short. Not even utilizing all of their potential force. Now being 3 members in the red team. Do you think we have potential in a win this time? Will they get it?
I do think their trick is pretty difficult and pretty creative, but at the same time, it doesn't have that spectacular element. They're only flying a little ways. They're not even jumping onto the highest difficulty house, and so far, it seems like they've wasted more than half of their time. So,
one thing you have to admit, they're the only team that use one other as a ramp that is not fixed.
that is true.
It's a very time-based jump, using Emrakul only to shoot up Sori as a ramp, unlike having a Dictator being a constant ramp.
Yeah, but he seems not to be getting enough height there. Maybe if Sori moved back closer towards the jumper and then maybe had a mine.
He should probably be moving forward, well, backwards than forwards, just to ramp up in general.
That's what I'm saying,
Then shoot once and be shot by Emrakul. That would be my version.
Or maybe have a mine in the middle of the bridge to lift him even further.
In the last couple attempts, Emrakul's timing has been pretty far off. And honestly, back to your question, Skelet. I really don't see them advancing based on this performance. Even if they get up.
Yeah, they're going through their attempts pretty quick, but...
Ooh, that one had promise.
Indeed. Once again, just a little bit shy.
Miss is as good as a mile, they say.
If I'm looking back at the counter, which we see in the stream, at least for me it says 13 now, but they're going through... I lost count, to be honest. They are pretty quick on that for sure. And it is a creative trick, but they might need some
They're just not getting the height or the distance that they need.
30 seconds left, roughly. That's
Maybe a Viking would have. A dictator would have worked
Oh,
better.
That one looked close.
indeed. He just needed to be a little more to the right, and he would have been on, I would say.
No, I don't think so. He just didn't have. If he had been more to the right, he would have slammed into the wall.
As he just did there.
Yeah.
And with just a few seconds left, perhaps
Come
they'll
on,
have time
come on,
for a
come
couple more
on.
attempts.
Oh, nice.
This is how you do it.
Well
Close
done.
call, but
Wow.
on.
Kept us on our toes, definitely.
But
Let's look
attempts-
at how much time was left exactly. Watching, they had 7 seconds left.
wow.
You could have gotten
7
closer.
seconds away.
At that point, time didn't matter anymore. Good
Cedric, I think everyone in the stream wants to hear you sing. So
I'm sure they do. The funny thing is that probably most of our viewers don't even recognize the song. Instead,
I'm
it's just
generally always in a Christmas spirit, but as this is a Tanki stream, you maybe hum our beloved intro song.
what?
Well, back to the trick. I do
better.
like the creativity, but I'm just not sure that with the almost 20 attempts that it took them, and with just 7 seconds left, I'm not sure they'll have a good enough score to put themselves into the top 4.
Well, let's put it this way. The attempts and time got them to the point that they literally get 0 points. Doesn't matter what house they chose. But let's see what the judges think, at least for creativity. Will they be able to at least outperform Toaster? Or maybe even get higher? Production gave us the numbers. 58, indeed, making it higher than Toaster with only 43. But unfortunately, far off from the lowest score so far in the top 4 with a 90.
So unfortunately, Fight and Flight will not make it to the semifinals.
Not getting us into the corner of having 2 teams with equal scores in the top, but well, let's see what happens in the next one. Moving on to the big giveaways, starting with 6,000 crystals on the line. We have one question for you, and I would very sincerely ask all of you guys to not say the answer in chat. It's a banned word. Just don't even try. We have a forum in which you submit the answer to the following question. What is the name of the paint being shown on screen?
And the answer is
Luckily, we can get muted before that gets live. Well,
and of course, as you can see in chat, please submit your answers to the form that's being posted there now.
Exactly. We have our wonderful staff submitting the link in the chat. You can enter your presumably right answer there. And with every correct entry, you will enter automatically for the big giveaway for 2 XT containers and 150,000 crystals being shared upon 3, or rather split into 50,000 each.
Oh my gosh!
So, you see a wonderful dictator railgun with a paint I may not name. Name the paint in the form, and that's your way into the big giveaway.
Let's have another giveaway. Let's try to guess how many people will still try to give the answer in chat, despite the numerous times that we've told them not to do that.
I'd prefer not to count those. Well, we will be moving into the semi-final, I think, now, right?
Indeed.
As soon as the giveaway is finished, as soon as everyone has submitted their answers, we will pick
randomly.
How many winners did we say?
20. 20 winners will
20.
be... And we have a very self-written randomizer, just to ensure that it's really fair. That
Self-written randomizer? Does that mean it wrote itself?
not me, but we have very highly skilled programming staff here.
Oh,
So
it is self-written.
good job. Well,
Sounds like it wrote itself.
Yeah, we have our AI systems in place to.
Ooh.
In fact, this isn't really a real person. This is actually an artificial intelligence speaking right now.
Lifting
3
tissue
different voices,
over-
1 intelligence.
lifting tissue over metal exoskeleton.
So, just a quick recap. We've moved through the quarterfinals, in which we had 7 entries, 7 potential finalists, being... Ben, shall you name them again?
Oh, of course. We had the Flying Parkourists Team 2 and Team 1, Fly to High Team 2 and Team 1, Legacy Parkourists, Toaster, and of course, Fight and Flight.
And if we'll then just recap pretty quick, or real quick, how did which team manage, or rather just keep it to the ones that moved on?
So in the semifinals, we will be seeing the Flying Parkourists, who scored with an incredible 109 points. In second place, we'll see Fly Too High with a score of 106 points. In third place, we'll see Legacy Parkourists with a score of 95.5 points. And finally, in fourth place, the Flying Parkourists Team 2 with a score of 90 points. So Cedric, it seems like, going back to your point at the beginning of the stream, the Flying Parkourists Team 2 was the first team to go, and they chose to do the most difficult building in Bridges map. And it seems like they paid off, because they managed to sneak in to the 4th spot.
Yeah, but only just the 4th spot. I mean, it could have been. Look, I'm not arguing that it would have been better for them to do the medium building, because I think it would have actually been worse. So yeah, I stand corrected there. But still, it goes to show that the first team usually suffers because of this. Like,
I would say they set a bar for the rest of the teams, because the judges had to still keep it up. And if we look into the table we see, a little bit more detailed, they did score pretty high, right? 90 is a high score. But
absolutely,
from the judges, they did not really get high scores regarding to how high it can get. And I would say that's probably because they're the first. If this is already super high, how much high will we give the others? We only have so much we can give. So I would say they set a bar. If you move above that, you see the points. 109.
Mm-hmm.
Production just announced 20 winners will now be picked randomly for all the entries which were correct. And Cedric, would you like to give that urge a little nudge and actually tell us what color was it?
color?
The color which we asked for.
What paint it was?
The paint, indeed.
Wasp and Smoky. I'm kidding. It was Aero, right?
It was.
It was. And okay, the Wasp and Smoky is a little bit of an inside joke that we have with the team, with the community management team, actually. And this goes back to when we had the Tanki meetup in Tbilisi. And we had a situation where Kasim was speaking Russian and I was speaking English, and most of the people there could understand neither Russian nor English. And we were organizing a quiz, and every question that I was asking, people were saying, "Wasp and Smoky, Wasp and Smoky." So at one point I asked, what's the name of the Polish community management? And everybody goes, Wasp and Smoky. So yeah, it kind of
Well,
stuck.
There you go. Have a quick rename. My name is Wasp, Skeleton, Smoky.
My name is what? Sepulhoff.
So up next, now that we've seen the 20 winners as well as the 20 giveaway winners, as well as the winners in the quarterfinal who will be moving on to the semifinal, let's reveal what map we will see these teams on in the semifinal.
And we're back.
Welcome back, everyone. You just saw the epic trailer our production made just
Did we?
for this. Serpukhov.
Serpukhov.
Semifinals.
It's Serpukhov. Like imagine you're trying to pull out a hairball. If any of you have cats.
Serpukhov.
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 Yeah, and Dutch people speak that way as well. They just
Yeah, we Germans too as well. Thank you.
no, but the Dutch do it worse. I had
Cedric, are you singing again?
what? Am I what?
Oh, it sounded like you were singing again.
No.
Well, let's have a look at what we chose, or rather what the teams chose to accomplish this time. We already had them on screen, after all.
So up first is the Flying Parkourists Team 1 with the highest score of 100 points. And it looks like they've chosen to do the most difficult of the three options. Is that correct?
Let me have a quick look at all the other options. Well, yeah, we have this building in the center. Very hard to get to because there's no ramps close by.
And in addition, it is a small landing area.
Indeed. So overshooting is quickly done on this one as well. And, well, let's have a look how they managed to get up there.
I do believe that Jumper will again be the jumper. I'm going to go out on a limb on this one.
Yeah.
You know what? I will challenge you and say it's going to be intellect.
All right. I'll bet you one giveaway.
One giveaway?
It looks like Espoir. Looks like Espoir might be firing.
Now they shall show us who is the winner between us, Ben. Cedric, do you want to give a little giveaway between us?
It looks like it's going to be a vertical jump.
I take that back. No giveaway needed.
I do believe Jumper will be will bounce off of the wall or will be pressed against the wall rather.
Oh,
that was very explosive. I like it.
And he got up the first try.
Once
again, the Flying Parkourists operate very quickly and efficiently.
Perfect
Absolutely.
execution. That's what experience should look like, and obviously does look like.
And I must say, the use of the thunder as a means of propulsion horizontally was very, very cool. I didn't really expect that that they wouldn't use they wouldn't create some sort of ramp out of the dictator going away from rather than towards the building.
They just wanted to have Jumper be a little bit on top so that he could be hit by the hammer. That was actually very intelligent of them.
It was.
I mean, I'm half expecting an elevator jump with this because it's low risk, it's fairly easy to pull off. So This was a very interesting take on it.
Well, once again, first attempt in the semifinals. So I suppose once again the bar set.
And it's a very high bar, I'd guess. I'd venture a guess here.
They are the highest scoring team after all, right?
Yeah. Then again, they're going first. So
improving upon their first high score with now 110 points.
well deserved. Absolutely well deserved.
Once again in the 3 digits, and that's the first score on the line, right?
It is setting a very high bar.
So now it's going to go one of two ways. Either the other teams will get discouraged, or they will get really nasty, and it will propel them even more to perform better.
Well, I can't wait to see what our next team up, Fly Too High, has in store for us.
But in all fairness, I don't think the other teams will be discouraged.
No.
And I think
what would they do here if they get discouraged that quickly?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, parkour is a game of patience, really.
Which we saw when the other teams got impatient, were panicking and trying to quickly get there, and well, one of them didn't succeed, right?
And
Exactly.
perhaps that is why those teams are maybe not in the semifinals, and these teams are.
Indeed. So,
Also,
next team already lining up, waiting for the go. You see no real big hassle, no hurry, like any movements back and forth in the back old days when we were just fooling around trying tricks in private battles. You always saw someone spinning around and waiting and not really wanting to wait.
Well, we did see that happen earlier today, and look what it cost them.
Indeed, it cost them the chance of winning. And here we go once again, moving quickly into apparently a similar attempt.
Okay. Interesting.
Dynasty's upside down.
But
perhaps he'll be
apparently
propelled upwards.
So we see no dictator. We see a wasp.
So, they're going to use the hammer bounce effect off the wall.
Oh. No, not just that. Oh, wait. Apparently.
That was not what they were attempting.
Sadly. I wanted to see a jump from back there.
So offing is setting a mine so that Dynasty's front end pops up. That way, Dynasty is high enough to shoot off of the brown house and into offing, propelling him towards the red house.
That's a lot of offing.
That's a lot of
and it looks like it works a lot better this time.
And it was offing great.
Indeed. Second try on the house. Once again, biggest house achieved.
And that was a very technical
strategy.
trick.
In some ways, very similar to the strategy used by the Flying Parkourists team that we just saw in the previous attempt. Using the same idea of propelling off of the brown house and using the wasp jumper to get onto the small red house.
So, what do you think of this very interesting attempt on getting there? Or rather, well, succession of getting there.
I think it was offing great.
I think that they will probably manage to get a score pretty close to the Flying Parkourists, but it may be. But
I would say 3
need
digits.
2 attempts. But I'll be surprised if they manage to top the Flying Parkourist score. But this is still a pretty high bar for the other 2 teams to get into the grand final.
Well, the extra attempt only cost them, I think, 1.5 points. So let's see what the judges think of it. Will they get even higher? We shall wait for production announcing this to us, and then us announcing it to you guys. We're just as impatient to see how this did as you are. Meanwhile, Ben, who will we see next? Who will show off their skill?
I believe
The
it's
next
Legacy. Yeah.
Is Legacy Parkourists.
How did they do it once again last time? I think
They came in
tries,
third out of the 7 teams with 95.5 points in the last attempt, in the last round.
right? And just like Fly to High did this time, they in the first round needed 2 attempts.
They did.
So, still waiting for production to clarify that the judges are sure on their judgment. Wow, that's a big one. Not only
Holy cow.
closing on to the flying parkourist, going over
Overtaking them.
119.
I am not surprised. I kind of expected it. I personally, although TFP was fantastic, I felt this trick deserved a higher score. I felt there was more technicality in there. There was more, like, more tiny details. I don't know. I just like this one more.
I agree. Seeing that they theoretically use very similar strategies regarding how they got him there, they did it very creatively. They didn't just use a dictator to get you up a little bit higher and then had someone at the back shooting you. No. They stacked him on top of a wasp that was flipped, not to forget. Shot the wasp up with a mine so that he could then still shoot. That takes not just skill, but even brains to think of. I wouldn't have thought of that, to be honest.
Split-second coordination as well. I mean,
Indeed.
yeah, that's what parkour is all about. But I mean, these guys really take it to the next level. And to be fair, all of the teams here do that.
Even as they failed, knowing that they're now in the semifinals, this is a single elimination tournament, all right? They know if they don't make it, there's no second chance. And they didn't panic. They did small adjustments, getting back into it and finishing in the second one.
And up next is Legacy Parkourists, with a goal of a lofty goal of scoring at least 110 points in this map. Serpukhov. Did I do it correctly, Cedric?
Serpukhov. You have to give it. You have to give it the
Russian
accent.
accent.
The Russian accent.
Well, I see 4 dictators, and I once was part of the event helper team. I remember how we did everything. We did dictator towers, and this looks like just that.
Well, I will be very surprised if that is what they use.
And here we go again. Let's see what they have up for us.
Why are they still there? Why are
I
they
don't think they were told to go.
Yeah, it seems like spectators have not really announced it. This seems a little bit unfair.
I do believe they haven't actually started yet.
Oh, you're right. Well, second cooldown. Here we go now.
Go.
Seems like production wasn't entirely sure on that one yet. Well, I see, just like in the old days, the first stack being prepared.
Yeah.
I mean, it's effective, right? Time will be used very effectively, but creativity is for sure there. And if they have a jumper, well, a dictator as jumper, I would say that's worth bonus points, right?
So we did end up seeing. Oh,
that's close. Neat landing.
But we did end up seeing a dictator's jumper. Remember, we had this discussion at the beginning of the stream. Remember?
Right.
We talked about it.
So
Yeah.
far, we only had hornets and wasps. This being the first big jumper. Let's see how the judges think of it. But first, we have to see it succeed, after all.
And interesting to see here that originally, iMoneymaker was going to be a second backup jumper, but now he's being used as one of the members of the
bottommost support. Yeah, right. Well, I guess he wasn't ever meant to be a jumper. And oh, is it an overshoot? Almost. He needed to shoot to keep himself there. Very well done.
Yep.
Cute being on the house and thereby succeeding, right?
I do believe that it doesn't count if you get up flipped.
Oh,
Yeah, that was I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. Did they get penalized, or they have to? Does it even count?
I think they can continue to make attempts until
So
they
it's
get up
basically a failed
without
attempt.
being flipped. However, if they end up not getting up at all, then the judges will take into account that they did manage to get up.
Right, which seems
although they were
fair.
flipped.
I
Yeah,
would say it's very fair. They managed to actually land on it after all. I would say if he had shot to the side instead of to the back, he might have actually not been flipped, or at least maybe on the side, so he could have unflipped himself. But here we go again, and
and
Oh,
no.
close.
unfortunate.
Thunder not having enough force to keep him there.
But luckily, 3 of them are still unflipped, which means they can go for attempt number very quickly.
Exactly, just like we saw once before with Toaster. They're very quick to set up again.
Yeah, except Toaster got burnt.
Indeed. So let's see what they have in store. How will they change up small things, or is it just small things in execution we won't even notice? Wait,
It
this
looks
is
like
difference?
Moneymaker just did not drive up soon enough, and that's as a result, he didn't even go the furthest.
I was gonna say that would have been very creative at the middle.
It would have been
wasn't
fun to
it?
see the second one. Yeah, the second one.
I almost missed the Dictator Tower though. I would have. It would have made me laugh for sure. Good old
I mean, in a
memories.
way, this is still a Dictator Tower. They're
True.
just using it as a jumper instead of.
Putting in some spirit instead of just straight up German efficiency.
Okay, they're gonna make it this time.
Volkswagen.
Oh.
They made it far enough, but also far enough to the side to shoot over.
And that is one of the reasons that this building is such a high difficulty level. It's
If you
really
have a look, it's lined up perfectly though. It was a bad placement on their behalf though.
Yeah,
Shooting
well,
over to the
it's easy
side
to
is-
it's easy to blame bad placement, but when you consider that there are 3 tanks on top of each other, so many things could go wrong.
Once again
Oh,
didn't
no.
drive back. That's bad. Taking time again. I see on the timer, but that's playback. I see 1 minute 15. So,
Yeah,
Not
about a
much
minute
left.
left. Little less.
I just heard out of production 40 seconds. And with one of them being flipped, they really have to move quickly. Changing up to Team Blue, I think, to be the jumper now? I guess not. Okay.
If they don't get it now, it's gonna cost them the tournament, definitely.
Oh, wait. They switched to one Hornet. Quick adjustment. So,
It's do or die now.
they really just want to get up, and this was not the way. Time's up. That's it. So, production, would you answer me this? What happens to their one attempt where they got up flipped? Meanwhile, we shall go to the... Well, we shall be waiting for the judgment.
In the meantime, who's next? We've got the final semi-finalist, and that would
Up
be
next is the Flying Parkourists Team 2.
Yeah.
So do you think they can overtake their first team and score over 110 points?
I think it's a tough call.
Flying Parkourers was the highest scoring team. Meanwhile, they are the lowest scoring within the semifinals. But
now they're going last.
And now they have a second chance to make it up.
indeed, they are not first one to attempt. They are now last one, actually, having seen quite a few strategies, maybe even improving their own upon watching others.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see, really.
That's unexpected. 21. Not even the 3 digits from the judges. I don't even see a single digit, a double digit score from any judge.
Wow.
That's actually sad. I guess Dictator Tower was not the way.
Yeah. Perhaps it wasn't viewed as particularly creative due to the fact that, the event if the event helpers can do it, then anyone
We
can do
were
it.
unorganized, even though we had the best organizer, not being in any way judging that it's my brother, but it was chaos, but we managed to get mammoths up on top any building with Dictator Towers at least 3 high. So yeah.
I think it's a combination of expectations and the failure to perform. So already you start with the preconception that, oh, it's a Dictator Tower, everybody does it, so it's on the easy side. So you're doing a Dictator Tower and you're failing with the Dictator Tower, that's a major fail.
So I just got big news from production. 2 things. First off, it won't be considered whether you're flipped or not.
Okay.
Secondly, at the end of the stream, you don't want to miss it. We will be giving out promo codes. Oh, actually, if you're flipped, it doesn't count at all.
What? You mean
it's basically as if a failed attempt.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Because at first I misunderstood. I thought like if you're flipped, it doesn't make a difference.
It won't be counted. It's basically a failed attempt. So sadly, that's that, and also the Dictator Tower not helping out. Well, last team we see, instead of just dictators, we almost see just wasps.
All light hulls.
And all of those with just hammer and a railgun on the Hornet.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what they come up with. Maybe they're trying multiple jumpers.
Well, have a look at. If you have a quick look, they are not allowed to start yet. But just like the team before, they may start now. But just like the team before, they're standing on this side, and as I thought, they will be starting from the ramp, like the Dictator Tower team. Just a little different, apparently.
And we've got the classic railgun style, and right on the first shot.
Wow.
Very nicely timed railgun shot by Joe. Brilliant. Nicely executed. Clean.
I'm speechless. I would have expected a lot, but that was not in there.
That looked very nice.
And anyone who's done parkour and tried like propelling with a railgun shot, you know that the slightest miscalculation and you're completely off.
There's a lot of force on those, indeed, right? If you miss them, you can mess up big time, but they did one attempt.
You're depending on the auto aim, you're depending on the rocking of the hull. So
I see some numbers going up, and the judges are with the Fly to High team, we've gotten to the point that getting really high, or even just getting higher than Fly to High, is already hard, because most judges are getting very close to the cap of how many points they can give.
Indeed.
Let's see what production will, when production will announce max. Actually, not even being second or first highest, they are so far third. 107.5 points. That's, I would say, low for what they did. But what do you guys think?
Not necessarily. Well, not necessarily. I just think it wasn't as spectacular as what TFP1 and FTH did. It was a very clean stunt, very elegant, but somehow lacked the wow factor that the other two had. So it's still brilliant, but not quite as brilliant as what TFP1 and Fly Too High did.
That's fair.
Again,
That's true.
it's a matter of opinion, really. You know, and I'm not the most qualified person to judge that, which is why I keep out of the judging altogether.
Well, that means, however, we're now, first off, knowing what is in the bronze and in the final, but also we're moving on to the next giveaway, right,
Oh
Cedric?
boy.
Right.
And we also have some bigger prizes for you guys this time.
Es ist größer.
We will be having 10,000 crystals for each winner of the giveaway, as well as, just to repeat myself again, 1 entry for every correct answer. Right? With every giveaway that you answer correctly, you will enter the big giveaway, which will be 2 XT containers and 150,000 crystals split between 3 winners.
And that final giveaway will occur, of course, at the end of the stream.
Indeed.
Right.
Just to specify, I think that might have been worded a little bit bad. There will be 5 winners in total at the end. There will be 2 XT containers and 3 winners with 50,000 crystals, just to be clear.
And as you can see, the giveaway question is already up on stream, but in case, well, maybe you can't read, I don't know.
Maybe this quality is too bad because of connection issues. How much protection did the MOP, Master of Parkour, 2015 paint have against railgun and mines? Because at that time, those were the weapons. Or rather, those utilized items to get onto any house you wanted. Once again, submit your answer within the forum, which will be posted in the chat. And
Okay, so guys, while we're chit-chatting, for those of you who watched the vlog today, we had a section where Sam Strajak, Hazel, said Aries April. The Aries hull
I have
should
to
be coming
confess,
in.
I didn't have time to watch today. My washing machine was being installed.
That is the worst excuse I've ever heard. Okay, I'll be the first to admit it. I watched the vlog because I'm forced to watch the vlog because I write the script and I have to put the subtitles and everything. So I have to watch it 5 or 6 times anyway. No, but anyway, I really enjoy doing the vlog. It's stressful, but it's fun. Still, we had a section where we had a small part where Hazel says Aries, April. So Aries should be coming in April. And for those of you who don't know, Aries is going to be, or whatever, whichever way you pronounce it, Aries, RS, PRS, whatever, is going to be a hovering hull. And you have to wonder at this point, what are the implications for parkour? What kind of tricks will we see?
Well, I think that really depends on the way they implement physics for such. Will it be just a hovering animation, or will it truly be...
No. I remember Hazel saying during a live stream I had with him about a year ago about Aries. And he said, I remember him saying something to the effect that it wouldn't exactly turn, it would more like strafe.
Ooh.
Interesting.
So if the hull moves sideways, like, and the friction works differently, if you think about it, using it as a jumper,
I think that will enable you, or might enable the teams to cover bigger distances, maybe.
Possibly. If you
I would
use
suppose such a hull would have reduced gravity,
friction.
and
Yeah.
like even
No.
gravity, that it would fall down slower, maybe.
Possibly. I don't know.
Well, we'll
But
have to find out in April.
Indeed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Soon
Absolutely.
to come. At least in the higher ages. I'm 20 myself. Days actually go by pretty quick if you oversleep half of them.
Dude, I'm 42.
Do
Turning
you even,
I'm turning 43 in September.
do you still realize single days?
No,
Or is it
I
more
don't.
like weeks?
No, I close my eyes and a couple of years go by.
Oh.
Like,
Well, anyways, coming back to the game.
yeah,
We
the
will be
question.
seeing a new map being announced soon. I wonder which one it will be this time.
As soon as the giveaways winners are announced, we'll announce the new map.
Indeed. Is it 20 winners again? I wonder. We have 170 correct entries, and we will be picking 20 out of those, once again, randomly, supplied by our wonderful programmers.
But even if you did not successfully, win this giveaway, of those 170 answers, every single one will have the opportunity later to win the big giveaway at the end of
Can
the
you
stream.
actually not successfully win something?
Well, you can successfully enter. I would say if you
What's he talking about?
I know one way. One of the members of the team here once gifted me something with only the message, "You now owe me 100,000 crystals," because it was the blue sphere. So technically, I won a crystal, the blue crystal, but still also kind of lost because now I owe him 100,000 crystals.
And I'm sure you gave them to.
Sure, right? It's not like that was, I think 3 years ago? Yeah, I've been around quite a while now.
Yeah, good thing he's not a loan shark, otherwise it'd be like 5 billion crystals by now.
Indeed, that would have added up quickly. Well, we shall see who will be the winner. I see a mouse on screen, meaning that I think that's our randomizer picking our 20. We have a number of winners, and I shall announce them. Abdur.Rafai, Asman468, Omar Nashat, Kildim 2004, and a lot more. For example, Wrecker, Glass, Truck_Fire.
I Legendary Warrior. Right. Oh, this one. Killed him 2004 third. The third. Guyam Rasul first.
Vulturo.
Aguicho 37.
So congratulations to all of the giveaway winners. And even if you didn't win, as
don't worry,
Cedric
you still
corrected my
entered
grammar.
the big giveaway. And not only did you enter it once, no. For every correct answer in the first, or well, you can only submit once to answer it, but if you answer the first giveaway and the second giveaway, that's already 2 entries.
Doubles your chances of winning one of those XT.
Indeed. And there's one more chance to get another entry. And the third giveaway after the next set. But first we have to see the map, which will be... what will it be? I wonder.
I wonder what the map will be in the bronze finals.
We are back, everyone.
Wow, Highland matchmaking.
Mm.
What do you think we will see out of the people playing it?
You know, At this point, I have no idea, and I can't wait
Okay.
to find out.
I love how candid you are.
The last attempt, like the last team, really just threw me off. I expected a lot, but not what they did. So let's see what these have up for us. And
Did we
also,
have?
just if you were wondering what was the correct answer for the last giveaway question, it was 30% against Mines and Railgun for the MOP 2015 paint.
Yeah, and by the way, guys, all of the information, all of this can be found on the wiki. So you don't get extra points, you don't get any advantages for answering first. So go to the wiki and check. We've got a whole team taking care of the wiki every day, updating it. I won't even tell you the amount of hassle they go through to get the
One of them even being
information.
here, not just doing the wiki stuff, though also preparing this stream just for you guys.
Exactly. So yeah, for those of you who don't know, a lot of our helpers are in multiple teams and they do lots of different stuff, plus juggling real life studies, exams. It's
A lot
these
of them
people
are
do,
still in school, or
a
even
lot of
worse,
them are
at
still in
work.
school.
Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah.
So
So
let's
check
see
out the
what.
wiki.
Yeah, and with that being said, let's see what TFP2 has in store for us in the bronze finals.
Wow, now on Highland matchmaking, as of now, they may start. And they chose the medium.
Did we
platform.
have Highland last year as well? I believe we did have Highland last year, and we also had what?
We did not, actually, I think.
We did not, but we did have a map with a tower. I remember there was
think
one
we had,
map.
Perhaps noise or polygon?
My
don't
memory
remember.
does not serve me well
Okay.
right now. I
Oh,
can't
so
tell.
close.
Too bad. They almost made it. No, I do remember there was a map with a tower, and the hardest difficulty was a tower similar to the ones we have here. It was quite a challenging one.
You're
And
mentioning a tower, and on stream we sometimes get a glimpse of those towers on the right of their current objective. Well, there's also the hard objective.
yeah,
That would be the tower actually to the right of where they are going right now.
exactly.
It's the
Yeah,
left tower of the two that you see. And also
That's-
one easier objective would be the small house, the red small house where the good old jumper. Wait, who is it right now? Let me have a quick look. Shirakdon. He just was there. It's in the back at with the brown house.
I wonder whether anyone will risk going onto the tower. I mean, when you consider that if you overshoot, you're landing on the minefield.
You know what? I would say actually
And we have a successful jump.
on the grand finals. We did indeed. Once again, utilizing the big push from Railgun.
And in addition, using 2 jumpers, which makes it even more efficient.
Indeed. And not only doing a single jump, no. They didn't climb the wall and climb it again. They climbed both at once.
Yes, they did.
I think as we get closer to the end, there has to be they have to bank on having a quick reset.
Indeed.
Oh, absolutely. Every point
your
counts.
tries actually might not even be beneficial, but obviously you want to be quick on restarting.
Yeah. They can't risk failure at this point.
I wonder whether the other team in the bronze finals also goes for this one, or maybe actually already for the tower. But I'm pretty sure in the grand finals we will see the tower.
Yeah, I mean it's do or die at that point, because you're either first or second, so you might as well go out all out.
Do you mean do or die the player we just saw? Well, moving on to the judges. What do you think will they do? Cedric, would you like to announce?
Sure. So the Flying Parkour 2 got a very respectable 88.75.
Putting them pretty
Okay.
low compared to the scores we've seen so far in general.
Yeah, but you have to understand. You have to put it within the perspective of it being the losers bracket, third and fourth place. So I don't know. Maybe they.
Just want to go safe rather than sorry.
Yeah, but still, they have nothing to lose. You know, at this point, they're definitely fourth. So it's either third or fourth. So
Indeed.
I personally, would have gone all out because
That's the benefit
anyway,
of being, well, single elimination. You for sure are there. You can't even. Well, it's the downside of single elimination almost. You can't even make it to first anymore.
yeah,
Might as well
exactly.
just go for the safe attempt.
And it looks like they're preparing to
Do
try
the
to
same.
compete with the 88.75 score that we saw in the last.
Also on the
last trick.
same objective, apparently.
Yeah,
Seems
you know,
like-
if I were Legacy, I'd go for the hardest one. Just
Well, let's have a
screw
look how
that.
they did last time. Last time they took 2 attempts, which is pretty respectable for sure. Needed less time for it than... No, wait, is it time left or time that they have? I think it's time left. Yeah, they needed less time than the Flying Parkourist 2.
Something happened to my browser window. It crashed.
Just for
That's
the stream, I even opened my laptop, so I have now 3 screens in my face.
Wow. No, I got rid of my second screen. I got a huge screen now. Just, not enough space on my
Well,
desk.
let's have a look at how they go for it. We see 2 Vikings for a first. Remember when you last said Viking?
Yeah.
What, at that time, it might have been a hunter, but this time actually Viking in it.
1-800 pillage. Who can tell me where that quote is from? Come on, gamers. No, nobody. 1-800 pillage. That's 1-800 pillage. Come on,
I could
GTA
Google
Vice
it
City.
quick, but I don't.
GTA Vice City. Come on, it's radio station.
Didn't play that.
Thor's self-help program. The advert for Thor's self-help program.
I did
Call
not play that, to be
1-800
honest.
pillage.
Well, let's get back to Tanki. We see a thunder. And as of now, they shall move.
They shall move. Move
There's
they
a-
shall.
They have the detonation there?
What?
Uh-oh.
Why did they do that?
I
don't
can't
think they
tell
meant
you. Maybe they only need those 2. I don't know.
I know that at one point they said, please let us know 1
They're
minute
actually
before.
going for the tower. Have a look.
It looks like you're right.
And they have a very interesting setup for it as well.
They're gonna. Okay, so 2 jumpers, and they're gonna go try the backflip onto the tower, like we saw in the previous. Oh, okay, that
He
that
went the wrong
misfired.
way.
Wonder how that happened.
But it's if they landed, they definitely have third place.
That's for sure. It is
I
a
agree.
lot more impressive than what we saw before.
Absolutely. And
Not
it looks
to
like the
put the others in shade, but
no, at all. The physics are not helping them. It's the physics is glitching out, sort of.
I wonder whether we would ever see
did-
the...
Come on!
Ooh.
Oh!
It's a very small target. There's a reason that this is the hardest one after all, right?
You know, I bet you if they don't make it, they will still get third place.
Probably. Well,
Because the creativity of the trick and the daring of the trick just deserves the points.
I just saw that they seem to have some actual technical difficulties. One of their discords crashed. That's not good. Let's see how they
Oh, this one has
perform.
Come on,
promise.
come on, come on, come on.
Oh, man.
Can they flip him?
I don't think so. But they still have plenty of time.
Indeed.
To me, this
think that-
deserves third place already.
Indeed. I think that the Thunder might be the better choice here rather than Ricochet.
Yeah, but in addition, if Mr. Nibbles were on the blue team, it might be a little bit easier for him to get up. However,
You're right. He seems to be hit quite different, which
However,
also
I-
results in him
Nibbles.
overshooting in every direction. But the
but
one he
I
wants
don't.
to.
I think he, because he has Wasp M1, it makes it a lot more difficult for him
Ooh.
to survive. And
Or maybe the munchies.
thus-
Mr. Nibbles. Get the
Ooh,
munchies.
this
Ooh,
might.
Oh!
Mr. Nibbles makes me eat my
Amazing.
word.
And the celebratory boom.
Brilliant.
Wow.
I am convinced. This is, to me, this is the most spectacular trick we've seen so far. And I'm convinced that had they not fallen into the loser bracket, they could have won the tournament with this.
I would say they would score pretty high with this. Well, they will score pretty high. After all, we are in the tournament and they are still in. Let's see
Although
how
they
they
do miss
perform.
out on many of the attempt and time points, but I think that maybe more than made up for by the
Absolutely.
judges' scores for creativity.
You're
And I
right.
think they have secured third place for sure.
Well, we shall see in just a minute. What do you think will we see from the other two teams on the same map?
Well, there
Actually, I think it's a different map in the grand finals.
is it? Is it?
I believe so. And we'll
Let
be
me have
announcing that shortly as soon as we find out who the winner of the bronze final is, and immediately after the giveaway, the third giveaway.
You're right. We have one more map to go. You're right.
Mm.
Well, I would have really wanted to see what they had in their back pockets for us on this one, but well, different map, different trick. We shall see.
I don't know. I mean, in the final we have two very experienced and very skilled teams. Without taking anything away from the other team, mind you, they're all fantastic, all really good teams. But like the final is the cream of the crop. Got Fly to High, Flying Parkourists won. These are people who have been parkouring for the best part of many years. They're level-headed, they're strategic, they're skilled, they're patient. So I'm expecting a great show for the last map.
Oh, this hurts. They did really well, as we already all agreed upon, but because it took them an entire 13 attempts, the judges were not so great. The judgments. They only have 62.5, actually putting them into 4th place. That's quite unfortunate that it took them so long.
It's too
Now
bad.
this is interesting because here we see in play that the multiplier, or even the multiplier, did not save them.
Well, in first of that, but secondly, not even using the multiplier because all the attempts got them down to 0 points. So that already the automated point system on that part for attempts and time really put them down because they would have achieved, well, let's have some quick math. They would have gotten up to a maximum of 13 points if it was one attempt, I think.
Yeah,
Or 12
indeed.
points for one attempt. Times
With one
1.5.
attempt, it would have been 12 points.
Plus an extra 50% for their very very courageous goal of that tower. So 18 points extra for that would mean, only 80 points in total. Still below what the other team got.
But if they had completed it in just a couple of attempts, they would have also had more time bonus, which in total probably would have boosted them above the flying parkourists team too.
Right. And the judgment was influenced by the attempts, I think.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, which is only fair, really.
Indeed. Well,
I think a couple of attempts less. They would have overcome the
absolutely.
The
absolutely.
Just 2 or 3 attempts less.
Well, we shall move on to our third giveaway, which you actively take part in, which will give you a big chance of winning XT equipment with the question. But obviously, this one first will only give you the normal prize. It will only give you an entry within the big giveaway. You will get 10,000 crystals plus 5 gold box supplies if you win it. And obviously, the entry within the big giveaway if you just enter the correct answer. So you see the question on the screen once again. Ben, would you like to announce it, or rather read it out?
Yes. Which edition of MOP does this paint belong to? Oh boy, this goes back to my playing days.
Don't give
I
any
wonder
hints.
whether I am allowed to give a hint.
Oh well, I've been playing recently too, so.
Yeah.
I might need to take some quick time off because I have a moth and it's really annoying me.
A muffin?
A moth.
Would he be annoyed by a muffin?
I don't know. I mean, I would.
Distracted by a muffin for sure.
Yeah, especially the chocolate chip, the double chocolate muffin.
Oh man, you're making me hungry.
The chocolate part with the molten chocolate inside. I'm a sucker for chocolate fondant, by the way. I like if there's a chocolate fondant in a restaurant, I will go for it. And I recently found, in November, I found this restaurant in Malta. It's called the Lord Nelson. And they have a vegan chocolate fondant.
Ooh, wow.
With peanut butter and stuff, and it's just mind-blowing. It's just decadent, and oh my god. Oh!
Well, I remember my
commentate
days.
parkour like you commentate food.
Yeah, I mean, I am a food writer, really. Actually, for those of you who don't know, I started my profession as a writer. By writing.
Why you write for the vlog, right?
Yeah, I actually started off as a ghostwriter for a chef. This was 14, 15 years ago. I used to write articles for a chef, and then it would look like he was writing them, and then I would get paid for my writing expertise. So I got into food, and nowadays I'm the copy editor for the Definitively Good Guide to Restaurants in Malta. I write about food and stuff like that. I get to visit the best restaurants in Malta and eat for free. So yeah.
Wow, even for free. Wow.
Yeah, because I then do the write-up for them. So they offer the meat for 2 in exchange for a write-up from me. So yeah, that's the way it works. It's like the Michelin guide and stuff like that.
I think the timer for the giveaway has come to an end, so we shall now move on to pulling the 20 entries.
No, let's keep talking about food.
You just want food. You just want to make us hungry, right?
It's not my fault. It's Toaster's fault. They started it.
Wow.
Even more correct answers. And just a hint, because it's now too late to use it. The edition which we're asking for was mentioned in an earlier question.
We had an earlier question.
Oh yes, we did. I'm
Oh, and we had to write the answer in the comments box on YouTube.
No, but you can try. Well, I suppose the answers have been banned from chat, so to get the right answer, you might as well just try every possible one and see which one does not come through, right?
Yep, and then you could write it in words instead of letters. Sorry, in words instead of numbers.
But why would
You
you
know, we
share
do
it?
have one more giveaway.
We do, but for that you don't actively enter. You already
you're
did
right.
enter.
You are entered automatically.
Well, you entered by submitting correct answers to the first 3.
You are right. That's for sure.
We are
And we
rambling
also now
at
have
this
the
point.
correct answers, or rather, the winners of this last normal giveaway.
As opposed to the AB normal giveaway.
Well, the big giveaway. With XT equipment on the line, and not just crystals in a golden package.
Okay, who got the reference for AB normal? Again, I'm showing my Young Frankenstein.
Blood type?
Young Frankenstein? The movie? Come on, guys, do yourself a favor and watch the movie Young Frankenstein.
Double my age. I am sorry.
Dude, watch Young Frankenstein and thank me afterwards.
You've grown up in a different century.
Indeed, I have. I was born in 1977. Still, watch Young Frankenstein, and you laugh so hard.
That sounds like a Disney film, not like so.
No, it's not. It's not. It's a film. It's a film by Mel Brooks, the same guy who did Spaceballs. And
I've watched those.
Spaceballs is amazing, but Young Frankenstein is amazing as well. It's shot in black and white just for fun to give it that vintage feel.
Okay.
And there's this, and there's so many jokes in there hidden that you get on repeat viewings, like the butler instead of Igor, Igor, because Mr. Frankenstein, Dr. Frankenstein insists on being called Dr. Frankenstein, because he doesn't want to be associated with his grandfather, Dr. Frankenstein. So the butler, who's a hunchback, he says, "You're Igor." No, it's Igor. Like these really idiotic jokes that stick to your mind. And there's the AB normal joke and Frau Blucher joke. Dude, seriously, watch it. Just watch it.
Well, we have to move on to more pressing matters, which is a new map. More Tanki Online, baby.
No, food.
You were off of food far. Well, let's get back. We have a new map, which we will see a trailer now. I wonder which it is now, even though there's one left. And so, as just told me that I was cut off, this well-made trailer, as well as the 3 before, were made by our production, not even by Tanki, the big guys in the back. No, by our small production, and I'm apparently not allowed to name him because he's too shy. Don't worry about it.
Come on.
All right, so let's move on to the first trick. We'll see Fly to High perform a trick. And I can't wait to see what they have in store for us in the grand finals. This is for all the marbles.
Yeah, for those of us for those of you who have just joined the live stream, this is the battle for the first and second place. Okay, this is it here. So we're on silence matchmaking, right?
Yeah,
We are.
indeed. It's always just been the matchmaking, apparently.
Yeah, of course.
And once again, we see dictators, which is, well, last time it was not very successful. I'm wondering why they're still going for it.
Because they're a bunch of dictators.
Yet again, with the high quality humor. So.
We see a drone being used, as well as all of them.
That's a first. That's a first. I don't think we've seen drones up until now in this tournament, right?
I don't think so. No. No, wait. I think I've seen a few actually. I've just never mentioned it before.
They are going real big right here.
I was gonna say this does not look like what they had before.
What?
No way.
Oh,
That was so close.
That hurts.
That was amazing. That was an amazing trick.
If they land this, I find it hard to believe that any other team.
Absolutely.
This has all the elements. It has spectacular. It has creativity.
Unexpected.
And the landing spot is so small.
Indeed.
I'll be very impressed if they land.
Just the fact that they almost got it first try as well. Oh, that's a big
sad.
mistake.
That's sad.
And we're in the grand finals, so the judges will take that into consideration.
Yeah, indeed. Still, you have to give the major props for creativity here. I mean, even just getting on the edge, you know, it's just doing it so elegantly. You can see the amount of preparation. Ah, this is
even just a little lag will
just screw you over. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, let's see how they manage to adjust to actually land it. Because the more tries, the less points. And apparently, as we saw, the judges...
I think they're gonna make it. They're gonna make it. Oh!
Flipped, and he does
no.
not even stay.
No.
He should have
still
probably
looks
shot the
promising.
other way, so that he would have stayed and he could have flipped him.
Yeah, you know what they say about hindsight. For those who have never done parkour, you're in the air, you're spinning like crazy. Your camera is going all over the place. Oh, again,
And
that's
not even hitting the tower, actually missing it to the right.
But it was at the right height. That's what makes it so maddening. He was at the right height, but he was a little bit off.
Coming in with the 5th attempt. Let's see whether this is it.
You know, I think these guys really deserve to get it. Oh,
Once
man.
again, to the right. And I think he actually would have overshot as well, spinning so much.
probably, yeah.
But it is a spectacular stunts they're pulling off there. It's just that they have to hit it.
It's one of the best stunts
I
we've
would
seen
say,
so far.
so far, that's probably not just one of the best, but the best.
The best, yeah. Again, too far off to the right.
I wonder what they have to adjust. Is it the hammer shooting? No, it's not even the hammer. It's a Magnum, right?
I think it may be how the wasp is lined up as he drives over.
The reset is...
Have a look at the explosion.
quite
You see
fast.
what's it called? The charcoal on the ground, basically, from the
Come on,
explosion.
guys.
It seems to be a little bit to the side, and that's what's flipping it away.
He's on track. Oh!
He hit it. At least he landed close.
Still has time for a couple more attempts.
He
1 minute
actually-
and 30 left, and it takes
Yeah.
about 10 seconds to drive up if he comes from down.
He
bottom.
actually landed on it and fell off. Because from where I'm looking, I'm looking right behind the tower, and he actually touched down and then fell off, which obviously God.
Oh,
too
this
far,
is
yeah.
far off.
Yeah.
He's landing on the house.
Well,
Might as well
that should
jump
count-
from there
that'll
now.
count for some points, right?
He should have. They should have just like. I would have been very impressed if they were just like changing it up and just moving to jump from the house. Like
I really hope they make it. I really hope they make it.
I wish for it. I want to see the big points they get for this, and
Oh,
then the
man.
big points their opponent will get.
Well, time for one, maybe two more.
It's getting close.
Too close.
They only have one more try. 10 seconds left, and they are not even
Don't
on it.
panic. Don't panic.
Calm
Stay
down,
calm.
guys.
Has promise.
Has
No.
indeed.
Oh,
yes. Yes.
No!
No!
He fell off.
That was such a turn of fate.
Oh man.
That's a big blow. Well,
I really feel for these guys. They
you have to respect it. They went all in.
absolutely.
They did a great job. He did land 3 times technically. 1 time flipped, once on the side. He did poorly on getting himself back up properly, unfortunately. But
again, you have to understand the pressure that's going on.
oh yeah, they had 10 seconds. Not even.
Insane.
How much time was it? Production? Well, when he was on top.
Just a few seconds.
Like 1 or 2 seconds. Not enough to react and actually get him upright.
No, he didn't settle there. You'd have to settle there. Yeah.
Well,
Oh man, that's disappointing. But at the
And they
same
had the
time, it was
definite-
a fantastic effort, and I'm sure they got at least a decent score, respectable score.
I really am wondering how the judges like it. Because they will get 0 points for the time.
Hmm. So production is telling us they got 87 points, which is on the lower end.
That's even lower than the flying parkours too. They scored lower than 3rd place, which is
No.
Well, I would
yeah,
say
actually, yeah, you're right. You're right.
that is somewhat sad for the flying parkours too in that matter, because they only got 3rd anyways.
but at the same time, it's two different buildings, two different
Indeed.
so
Yeah,
I
you
think it's
can't
hard to
really
compare.
You can't.
You only have those few numbers. Well,
And I
let's
will
see.
say, it's not a low bar for the flying parkourists, the final team to make.
I would say the way that they had the trick set up will set a high bar. However, the points set a low bar.
I agree.
Just look at the points so far. Those are basically the lowest scores we saw throughout the tournament. Well, if you don't count in the Legacy Parkour's last score.
Well, now it will be interesting to see how strategic TFP will go, because technically they could play it safe and go for the middle tier and say, well, it won't be hard to beat that score if we go on the middle tier.
You're right, but TFP also, I think, if I remember correctly, and my memory doesn't fool me there, TFP is also a professional YouTube channel.
They are.
Well, they've been producing.
They've been in the days when I wasn't even generalist.
TFP, the TFP have been producing parkour videos since the time of Semyon Kirov. Since before I came over.
I don't think going not all in is even an option for them.
Indeed. But I mean, to ignore strategy might prove to be a mistake.
I will
You
say,
really
I'm not
count
sure they've
yourself
had
a
enough
winner?
time to strategize, right? They only had a few seconds in between the attempt that we just saw from Fly to High and their own attempt. So
Well,
perhaps
they
they
had 6 days to prepare.
Exactly.
Don't forget that. They
will have
an idea
prepared.
what they want to do.
So you think they prepared one trick for each difficulty level?
Yes.
I wouldn't be
would
surprised.
Not for
that.
every difficulty level, just for every map.
Right. So I think they have one trick prepared for this map, and they've been practicing that singular trick over and over, and they
Yes.
haven't practiced any other tricks on this map.
No, I disagree. These guys, these are obsessive parkourists, and we've seen that throughout this tournament and even past tournaments. If you'll see, quarterfinals, flying parkourists won 109 points. Semi-final, flying parkourists won 110 points. These people don't take it lightly. They are obsessed with parkour. I would bet anything that they prepared properly, they prepared expertly a trick for at least the hardest level and the medium level. Maybe not the lower level, because
No.
because they know it's not worth the hassle.
Let's have a
But-
quick look. I forgot what lower level actually was on this map.
But yeah, by the way, nobody used the lowest level in any of the contests.
You're
So
right,
in
they
it-
didn't. But
That's true, and we've only seen a couple of medium level tricks as well.
Exactly, yeah.
if you have a look on this map, medium and low might actually take more tries than this one. This one is about precision, right? But the medium level is the big tower in the back. And I remember how hard it was to get on that, even with Moon enabled.
Yeah.
And the next one beneath that would be the red house, for which I would probably do a trick like jumping on top of the yellow and then on top of the red. I think we're ready to start.
Okay, so let's see what they're gonna come up with.
Well, obviously they will use the big explosion that Magnum has.
Oh man,
Intellect is on his side. It looks
interesting
intentional.
setup. So Intellect is gonna shoot Jumper in the back so that he faces upwards, and then he shoots backwards.
What was that?
So apparently, Jumper is the jumper once again.
Surprise, surprise.
But not only that, Espoir seemed to not do anything but set up.
I believe you're right. He may shoot from behind, but I'm not sure.
Well, let's have a look. So here we see
I don't get what they're trying to do.
they want the explosion to throw Jumper a lot higher and a lot further. It seems there are some difficulties with it. I don't understand.
I do believe that Intellect, the hammer, is not shooting soon enough. I think he needs to shoot a little bit sooner so that Jumper can then get propelled upwards in the air, shoot downward with his thunder, and then the Magnum shot should land last and propel him onto the house.
And
again,
probably
Intellect
Espoir
shoots a
should
little late.
then fix the spin basically, maybe with one or two shots, because Ricochet actually does quite some pushback or knockback on the single shot.
It's true, although it may be true that Espoir just doesn't do anything.
The setup is fairly fast.
Shoot.
There we have
so
it.
now Intellect shot a little too early that time.
They're not getting anywhere close to it.
Their timing's just off, I think,
Yeah.
and it's a trick that's all about timing. If they get the timing right, I think they'll have a good. But at this point, they've already wasted almost 2 minutes, and I don't know if they can make up that time.
No, I think at this point, well, it's too late to change, right? They probably don't have more tricks prepared. And considering that they are still human,
Ooh,
got it.
they
first
got
time.
it.
is right.
Sweet.
Nicely done.
That will give a high score.
It's
Yeah.
definitely not the most spectacular trick we've seen today.
Well,
but
still pretty sweet though.
I would
do
say
like
the one
setup.
before
It's
was
creative.
more spectacular, but they went, well, they were close to getting it. Well, I think this will be a close one.
I do too. I can't wait to see what the judges
But
determine.
remember, they managed. They did get on top successfully. Not on the side, not flipped, not even shoot over. They either didn't make it far enough or got it. So, let's see what the judges think of this, which is actually the last of all the tricks we will see tonight.
Who will win the grand final?
It will be very close. I can see some numbers from the judges, and so
boy.
far, this will be very close. It's 93 points.
Putting them
for-
just 6 points above Fly to High, who
and
had
still
87
being
points.
only in the 2-digit space.
But good enough to earn them the title of Masters of Parkour 2020. Congratulations to the Flying Parkourists.
Congratulations from me as well. And they not only got it in between the two that they are, but they also managed to make it in general within the finals. They had the highest score from all 4 teams on their respective last map.
They did a great job throughout the tournament, but so did all the other teams. I got to give props to every single team, even the production value of the original submission videos of all the teams were fantastic. And I must say, the parkour we saw today was really fantastic to watch.
Well, this was a great evening with you all, and in a minute, Cedric will be back. He has some quick business to take care of. And, well, let's have a quick look at what we had today. Just looking back at all the different events. We had, first off, the first few rounds in which every team obviously took part. We had which teams again, Ben?
Oh boy. We had 7 teams take part in the finals. Those teams were the Flying Parkourists Team 1 and Team 2, Fly to High Team 1 and Team 2, Legacy Parkourists, Toaster, and Fight and Flight. And of course, a huge congratulations to all of them. And a huge thanks to all of the viewers today. And as a way of saying thank you, I would, or our production team would like to do a final giveaway of 5 winners.
Where 2 of you can win XT containers. If you don't know what those are, well, if you have some XT, well, you can get more. If you have all XT, you will get a code to be exact, and you can give it away to a friend of yours. And they will be able to get some XT item out of them.
Why would you want to do that?
It will be a container,
Nice
just like the
gesture.
ones you know. And then you will be able to open this container to get some random XT, which you don't own yet. Because it's a code, you can give it away to any of your friends, which means that you just
Go
need
to your
win.
alt.
Well, as well, true. Kind of greedy, right?
For those of us that don't have friends, Cedric.
Like me.
Well, but also 3 winners with 50,000 crystals. That's a lot.
It most certainly is.
And remember, guys, we always have sales. Like, we have regular sales. So you can get a little bit of extra leverage out of those 50,000 crystals. Like, what day of the month is it? It's Friday 13th.
Oh boy, lucky day.
Yeah. I mean, we have discount weekends roughly once a month. We've got festivities coming up. So, yeah, you can get a lot of mileage out of those 50,000 crystals, especially if you have an alt. By the way,
Might as well just buy a lot of supplies and spam.
yeah, just piss people off. Yeah, before I forget, I just want to congratulate the Flying Parkourists for winning this edition. I apologize if I didn't congratulate them immediately, but I had a very urgent case of what do you call it? Really needed to go to the bathroom thing. Yeah, I'm an old guy, so 2.5 hours is a bit too much for me. So yeah, let's pick the
Production
final
seems to be
winners.
pissed because they want to pick the final winners, being
Yeah.
impatient for us still wanting to talk.
Yeah. So we're gonna get the first nickname that's gonna be rewarded with 50,000 crystals. Stop.
Jason 12, congratulations! You are the winner of 50,000 crystals. They will be.
Okay, so this is interesting. Jason 12. Why isn't not Jason 13? Because in Jason 4 he's.
I guess
13?
the other Jasons didn't win. My multiples
Alright,
are
let's-
very numerous.
Let's see the next giveaway winner.
Next
We're moving
giveaway
from
winner.
bottom up. So the first 3 will be 50,000, and then we'll move on to XT containers.
Right.
Stop.
Halt.
Cruz, congratulations also to you to 50,000 crystals.
Okay, so we're on to movie stars. We've got Jason Voorhees and we've got Tom Cruise. So
Wow.
what? The third one will be what? Ilona Stellar? Who got that? Be honest. Who got that?
Alright, let's...
Stop. Okay, stop. This
And
one gets
50,000 to Tanko 2006. Wow, started pretty early with the game.
Nice. So nothing to do with movie stars anymore.
And now moving on to XT equipment, or rather the container, the code which you can give away to either your old account if you don't have friends, or if you are greedy, I guess, or your friends, or keep it for yourself if you still need some XT.
Yeah.
Duh.
Stop. By the way, production is asking us to say stop so that they can stop the
Krutik_love. Congratulations.
What's that again?
Krutik_love.
No way. I used to parkour with him.
What? I actually don't recognize the name, to be honest, but congratulations. You earned a promo code for a XT container.
Nice.
And now, to have the fate of the last winner, Ben, you shall be saying stop when production wants you to.
Alright.
Think hard.
All in your hands.
Focus.
Stop.
Whoever didn't win it, you shall be complaining to Ben.
Yes, blame him. It's his fault.
100% my fault.
Now, announce the winner you picked, Ben.
And the winner of the final XT is Dreams with a Z at the end.
Oh, yeah, with a Z.
Congratulations to you as well. And
Well done.
well, at least from us, I think that's so far it. I was told that we will be dropping some more promo codes containing different items. We actually don't know what in the chat. So have a look there. Be quick because others for sure are, and grab what you can.
Guys, before we go, I want to drop a little bit of news, exclusive, that nobody knows about.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Cedric, are you allowed to do this?
Yes. There's going to be, in the coming weeks, some novelty with Juggernaut mode.
Really?
And I leave you with that. It's going to be crazy and weird. It's going to be very different from the Juggernaut mode that we're used to, that we've seen up until now. I can't say much, but it's really, really, really weird. It's going to be a really weird mode, really weird Juggernaut mode.
Will
And
it
it's
also
gonna
come in April?
We're expecting it in April, yeah. And there's gonna be strategy involved, and it's gonna require a lot of teamwork.
Will it be before or on the 1st of April? Because you know what happens there. You just will be fooling us with some stuff that will be in the game for maybe a day or half.
Well, we do have celebrations coming for Fool's Day, and I can't tell you whether it's going to be just for the celebrations or long term. But it's gonna be. You just have to wait for the official announcement.
Late Easter, maybe Easter bunny ears on the tank.
No. Juggernaut mode, but with some really weird mechanics and proper teamwork and something totally unexpected, something that we've never seen in Tanki Online before. We're just gonna take the mechanics to a whole new level.
Well, I can't wait to see what it is.
We'll release an announcement fairly soon. I apologize for sneezing in the background. My wife keeps sneezing. Sorry about that.
I just read in chat flashbacks to Cedric saying that space mode will be for 1 day. Cedric, you seem to be a oddly unreliable source.
No, actually, yeah. Well, yeah, space mode. Now I remember. Yeah, space mode originally was going to be for 1 day, and then we saw that it was so popular that we kept it in the game. Yeah, I for one was really upset when they removed Moon Silence, because that's round about the time when I started playing Tanki Online, because I just discovered it. Then Moon Silence was a lot of fun. So we'll just have to see what this new Juggernaut mode will bring. We'll have to see, obviously, how players react to it and whether they think it's too off the wall. I don't know. You just have to wait for the official announcement. I just wanted to give you a bit of a throwaway, to thank you for tuning in and watching this live stream. Just wanted to give you something special that nobody else knew about. I guess we'll give more details in the next vlog if Igor manages to. Igor, by the way, Igor Demin is the guy who takes care of the Russian vlog. So if we manage to fit in some details there, we will. But that's what we're pitching for. But release date, we still don't know quite. No, we don't know. But it's gonna be a lot of fun. So just watch the news. Yeah, make sure you watch the video, because that's where the news is gonna come from.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm. On a final note, just wanted to thank the whole organizing team for the Masters of Parkour. You guys did a brilliant job, a fantastic job. Like, those of you watching here, you have no idea. I spent about a year of my life working as a television producer.
Cedric,
Yeah.
I have a small question. I remember you mentioning something earlier about promo code. Do you
Mm-hmm.
want to make a big flood of promo codes in the chat, or was
Oh,
it
yeah,
a lot
go
of things?
No, go crazy. Do it.
Well, I don't have any. I am merely a commentator.
Do we have any promo codes?
I don't. I don't think. Well, production just told me that apparently I misread something. They didn't plan on putting any in chat. Apparently, I was wondering whether you were or not. Production is now backing me up because I made some mistakes. Now you're getting promo codes. You're welcome, everyone. My name is Scarlet1. Presents are welcomed.
Okay, so skillet is what I use to fry my beef. Nice.
I thought that's a skillet.
Yeah, skillet, whatever.
It's it's not that kind of. Never mind.
Why is it skillet? What?
It's almost well, when I started to play the game, I was very young, so I actually didn't know how to spell this word correctly. It's the German word for skeleton, just with one too many L's.
What's with you guys and skeletons? We had Skeletor XV1.
My brother.
Yeah.
Skeletor the 16th. Yes.
The Skeletor 257. And now you as well? What's with you?
Well, I actually started playing the game before my brother.
Ooh.
And I also invested quite some money before my brother, because he never invested money.
Oh, cheap ass.
The only money on his account that was ever spent was the €1 that was left on my PaySafe card.
Oh.
And because back in the old days, there was some extra that you could get for just ever using any money in the game. You would get some bonus.
Mm-hmm. You get some bonus?
Yeah, so I banked my brother 1 single cent just so he would get that. So he actually got more of a reward for ever using money than he got for the money itself.
I love to pick on your brother, on your brother's nickname. Always coming up with different numbers, like Skeletor 256.
Wait, no, he's just continuing to count because it's he's just counting in Roman numbers. That's all.
Yeah, I just love to have fun with that.
I'm actually sad. They posted the promo codes here in our chat. So now because I see them here, I can't even put any in my account. I wanted to grab one in the chat. I'm still poor. I'm not even the last rank. I'm still gonna run this more.
Your brother is probably taking advantage of those promo codes already.
He actually can't see them. Or can he? No, he can't.
Sure he can. Anyway, so major props to the organization. I was saying I was a television producer for a year, and this is like national television level organization. We've got spreadsheets with a running order, with score sheets and walkthroughs and like documents explaining everything we need to know. We've got the team.
The easiest part here, basically.
Absolutely. All of the work has been done for us. I mean, I did zero prep work. I just came in here and found everything prepared. And it's so easy to underestimate the amount of work that goes into this. But these guys have been preparing for months.
Oh, yeah. So, for example, I actually had to take quite a break from Tanki recently because I am in uni now.
Yeah.
I started playing around when I was 12. Like, I'm 20 now.
Wow, you've been around for 10 years.
And that's like, I was approached by the organizer whose name I may not name because I don't know why. He was, for example, the one who made all the videos. He has been approaching me about, I think, 3 months ago, maybe. Like,
absolutely.
He's been putting all this together for months, and he put in hours.
No, hours? Hours? I think you mean weeks.
Probably, yeah. So,
I mean,
props to them, props to the team, and
the
one
level
name
of
they
work.
can name because I already saw it in chat. Torben BOS. Thank you.
Again, Torben has been around for many years. But seriously, all of them have contributed so much in this team, in multiple teams, and if you think about it, Tanki Online has been around for 10 years only because of the community. There have been games that were potentially much better, much more polished than Tanki Online that no longer exist. No, seriously, I mean, you laugh at this. Oh, by the way, comment of the century when we were asking about what would make HTML5 version great. Someone says you should go back to Flash because Flash version was stable. Like,
My Flash version crashes more often than the HTML5, but okay.
but like these people seem to have forgotten how many critical errors we used to get.
True.
Again, I remind you, Tanki Online up to 3-4 years ago was practically an alpha version.
Yep. I remember the good old days before the what was it, the reset. Well, Cedric, I hate to do this to you, but I think we need to cut into your wonderful talk because we need to give the courtesy of the big business you took off to earlier to our wonderful streamer. So
So our streamer is gonna do a stream.
exactly.
A very long stream, I guess. Okay, so
Anyways.
everyone, thank you so much for joining. Thank you to all the teams for having given us a fantastic show. You all did great, so you have nothing to be ashamed of. You made it this far, fantastic. Thank you to our my fellow commentators, and team, the organizational team, everyone. So those are my last words. Anyone else want to add something, and I'll be off.
Yeah, huge thanks to everyone.
Huge thanks to y'all, and have a good night, good week. Stay safe. Stay out of the big groups at the moment, right?
Yeah.
What's going on? I didn't want to mention it, but I guess it's still important.
Yeah, you can stay home and play Tanki Online. That way you won't get viral.
All right. Thanks for a great stream, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.
See you next
Bye-bye.
time.